Welcome to Santaroga Surplus. I have my first Patreon subscriber. Patreon is evil and is doing bad things, and I can't commit to a video career by means of Patreon. Nonetheless, I am on Patreon right now, and I would really appreciate $1 or $2 or $5 or whatever. Now that I do have one single Patreon subscriber, I have to do an email newsletter because that's the thing. Now I've got somebody. I can be reached monetarily at paypal.me/Santaroga also, and make sure I get your email address if you do that so I can send the newsletter now that I have to do one. Video Gremlins 4 takes of a run and gun video. The SD card failed, and Shopgirl and I, who you still haven't seen, were very out of breath at the end of 4 takes, and kind of pissed that the video's gone. But we'll go ahead and get that up soon because we'll have to do a new one now that I have a new SD card in the camera. So this is the AAO lower that I was talking about. Excellent quality, really nice. I really like the swept back look to it. I like my paint job. The mag release is fine, works fine. It is, however, a different profile than the New Frontier ones. So if you want to get a fancy gamer mag release with an extended button that you can accidentally hit every time you set the firearm down on a truck seat or a tractor, you can't do that with this. Odinworks is just going to have to come out with something for the AAO now. The only reason I have this one is because EP Armory did not send me a standard New Frontier style mag catch with that lower, and I still don't know why. I haven't heard from them yet. So this is really nice. I decided on this one, since I'm going with a slightly heavier weight set of parts, Macon Armory in Macon, Georgia. Macon, whatever. It's like bacon with an M. He does the barrel, bolt, and a buffer weight, and it's all a little extra heavy duty. The barrel is not keyed because it has a 360-degree feed ramp that works fantastically, and the bolt's a little bit beefier, and the buffer weight is a little heavier than your standard CMMG 5.5, and it makes for something that shoots very smooth. It will feed Glock or Colt. His bolt will feed either kind of magazine just fine, and it's all guaranteed to work, so I really like that. And that's why I decided to go ahead and go with a heavyweight guntec Mondo tube here, and of course my SBA 3. I don't have a permanent red dot on this. I had the Primary Arms micro red dot before, but it doesn't work with backup sights because when you put the backup sights up, the top of the optic is in the way of seeing your sights. So I need to go with a standard co-witness. If I'm going to have backup sights, I need to be able to use them without doing surgery. This one has a TLR1HL, which has the strobe function that all of my sheriff's buddies really like. This is the one I've been carrying around as a ranch firearm, and it has the 900 lumen super flashlight, which is pretty cool, and the battery lasts for a really long time. Well, the 3 batteries. So I like that. It's a little bit longer, you'll notice. The barrel is actually an inch longer. This is like a 9.5, and this is an 8.5 inch barrel. It also has this weird flash can, flash forwarder, redirector, compensator, muzzle brake, super uber thing to tame that super hot 9mm. You don't need one of these. I would prefer to just have a crowned muzzle. And I've got a thread protector that I made on this, and I may just turn the threads down. I don't see the point unless you're going to put a silencer on it. So this works really well. The only other thing I want to say about the the difference between these two is that this has the forward charging handle, which is almost big enough for my pinky, and is actually big enough for Shopgirl, but it's not right. It sits flat, not at a 45-degree angle. It doesn't fold. It's small, and it's right at the right spot for me to hit my finger here and here on the front of the rail and the float tube every time I use it, if I remember to use it, because the problem with a forward charging handle on an AR is that it's an AR, and every time you pick up an AR, your muscle memory says, hey, do that, because that's how we operate ARs. Unless you're like 90 years old and you do the finger thing. So these are relatively short. I do like them for getting in and out of vehicles. I spent a lot of time carrying an AK-63D underfolder as a wrench rifle, and a lot of time with a high point 9mm as a wrench rifle. The 7.62x39 is actually overkill for most of what I'm concerned about, including bad guy threats or zombie attacks or whatever, okay? The truth is, every time I've had to fire a round, it's been a warning shot to a dog that wasn't feral, or it's been shooting a feral dog or a coyote. I've done skunks with the 22, but that's different. So I understand the personal defense aspects of this, and I really like this kind of platform for personal defense. I think 9mm is not my ideal caliber, but we'll get into that later on. It certainly is expensive. And, you know, I'm not shooting coyotes at 600 yards from a rest. If I shoot a coyote, it's in my pasture, and I'm shooting at less than 100 yards, and this is just fine. Honestly, 22 is probably going to be just fine, but this makes a lot more sense for other reasons. So, the high point carbine was a very good ranch rifle. It was better than the AK, and it was better than the full-size AR because it's just reliable, beater, cheap. Don't care if you run it over because you can spend $200 and get a new one. This, though, I think is the wave of the future for ranch firearms, ranch pistols, and I really like where I'm going with this. So you'll get to see lots of running and gunning with that very soon. In the meantime, we're just going to wait for the storm to end so we can do more videos. Have a good one.